Sir Samuel Alexander Mendes CBE is an English film and stage director, producer and screenwriter. In theatre, he is known for his dark reinventions of the stage musicals Cabaret, Oliver, Company, and Gypsy. He directed an original West End stage musical for the first time with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. For directing the play The Ferryman, Mendes was awarded the Tony Award for Best Direction of a Play in 2019.
In film, he made his directorial debut with the drama American Beauty, which earned him the Academy Award and Golden Globe Award for Best Director. He has since directed the crime film Road to Perdition, the drama Revolutionary Road, and the James Bond film Skyfall Inspector. For the war film 1917, he received the BAFTA Award for Best Direction and a second Golden Globe Award for Best Director.
In 2000, Mendes was appointed a CBE for his services to drama, and he was knighted in the 2020 New Year's Honours List. In 2000 he was awarded the Shakespeare Prize by the Alfred Toepfer Foundation in Hamburg, Germany. In 2005, he received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Directors Guild of Great Britain. In 2008 the Daily Telegraph ranked him number 15 in their list of the 100 most powerful people in British culture.
Mendes was born in Reading, Berkshire, the son of Valerie Mendes, a novelist, children's writer, and poet, and James and Peter Mendes, an academic. His father, who was from Trinidad and Tobago, is a Roman Catholic of Portuguese Creole descent, and his mother is an English Jew. His grandfather was the British Trinidadian writer Alfred Hubert Mendes.
Mendes's parents divorced when he was a child. He grew up in Oxfordshire and attended Magdalen College School and Peterhouse, Cambridge, where he graduated with a first in English. While at Cambridge, he was a member of the Marlowe Society and directed several plays, including a production of Cyrano de Bergerac with Tom Hollander among the cast members. He was also a brilliant schoolboy cricketer, according to Wisden, and played for Magdalen College School in 1983 and 1984. He also played cricket for Cambridge University, and in 1997 played for Shipton under Wychwood in the final of the Village Cricket Cup, thus being the only winner of the Academy Award for Best Director to have played at Lord's.
At age 24, Mendes directed a production of Chekhov's The Cherry Orchard in the West End that starred Judi Dench. Soon he joined the Royal Shakespeare Company, where his productions, many of them featuring Simon Russell Beale, included Troilus and Cressida, Richard III and The Tempest.
He worked at the Chichester Festival Theatre in 1988 as assistant director on a number of productions, including Major Barbara, and directing in The Tent, the second venue. He later directed at the Royal National Theatre, helming Edward Bond's The Sea, Jim Cartwright's The Rise and Fall of Little Voice, Harold Pinter's The Birthday Party, and Othello with Simon Russell Beale as Ego.
In 1990 Mendes was appointed artistic director of the Donmar Warehouse, a studio space in London's Covent Garden which he helped transform into one of the city's more notable theatre venues. He spent his first 2 years overseeing the redesign of the theatre, and his opening production was Stephen Sondheim's Assassins in 1992. Several successful productions followed.
In 1993 Mendes staged an acclaimed revival of John Kander and Fred Ebb's Cabaret starring Jane Horrocks as Sally Bowles, Alan Cumming as MC, Adam Godley as Cliff Bradshaw and Sarah Kestelman as Frau Schneider. The production was approached with a fresh concept, differing greatly from both the original 1966 production directed by Harold Prince and the famed film version, directed by Bob Fosse. This production opened at the Donmar and received 4 Olivier Award nominations including Best Musical Revival, before transferring promptly to Broadway where it played for several years at the Kit Kat Club. The Broadway cast included Cumming once again as MC, with Natasha Richardson as Sally, Mary Louise Wilson as Frau Schneider and John Benjamin Hickey as Cliff. Cumming and Richardson won Tony Awards for their performances.
1994 saw Mendes stage a new production of Lionel Bart's Oliver, produced by Cameron Mackintosh. Mendes, a longtime fan of the work, worked in close collaboration with Bart and other production team members, William David Brogg, Martin Koch, and Anthony Ward, to create a fresh staging of the well-known classic. Bart added new musical material and Mendes updated the book slightly, while the orchestrations were radically rewritten to suit the show's cinematic feel. The cast included Jonathan Pryce as Fagin, Sally Dexter as Nancy, and Miles Anderson as Bill Sykes. Mendes, Pryce, and Dexter received Olivier Award nominations for their work on Oliver.
He has also directed productions of Tennessee Williams' The Glass Menagerie, Stephen Sondheim's Company, Alan Bennett's Habeas Corpus, and his farewell duo of Chekhov's Uncle Vanya and Twelfth Night, which transferred to the Brooklyn Academy of Music.
In 2003, Mendes directed a revival of the musical Gypsy. Originally, he planned to stage this production in London's West End with an eventual Broadway transfer, but when negotiations fell through, he brought it to New York. The cast included Bernadette Peters as Rose, Tammy Blanchard as Louise, and John Dodson as Herbie.
Mendes also directed the 2013 Olivier Award-nominated stage adaptation of Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which ran in London's West End until January 2017. It starred Douglas Hodge as Willy Wonka, followed by Alex Jennings and Jonathan Slinger, who later took over the role.
In 2014, Mendes directed Simon Russell Beale King Lear by William Shakespeare at the National Theatre, London. Mendes directed Jez Butterworth's The Ferryman for the Royal Court Theatre in London in 2017, before transferring to the West End later that year and Broadway in 2018, for which he won an Olivier Award and Tony Award for Best Director.
In 2018, Mendes directed the Learmonth trilogy by Stefano Massini in an English adaptation by Ben Powell for the National Theatre, London, starring Simon Russell Beale, Adam Godley and Ben Miles. In 2019, the play played a season at the Park Avenue Armory in New York before returning for another London season in the West End.
In 1999, Mendes made his film directorial debut with American Beauty, starring Kevin Spacey. The film grossed $356.3 million worldwide. The film won the Golden Globe Award, the BAFTA Award, and the Academy Award for Best Picture. Mendes won the Golden Globe Award, Directors Guild of America Award, and the Academy Award for Best Director, becoming the sixth director to earn the Academy Award for his feature film debut.
Mendes' second film, in 2002, was Road to Perdition, which grossed $181 million. The aggregate review score on Rotten Tomatoes is currently 81%. Critics praised Paul Newman for his performance. The film was nominated for 6 Academy Awards, including Best Supporting Actor, and won one for Best Cinematography.
In 2003, Mendes established Neal Street Productions, a film, television, and theater production company he would use to finance much of his later work. In 2005, Mendes directed the war film Jarhead, in association with his production company Neal Street Productions. The film received mixed reviews, with a Rotten Tomatoes rating of 61% and a gross revenue of $96.9 million worldwide. The film focused on the boredom and other psychological challenges of wartime.
In 2008, Mendes directed Revolutionary Road, starring his then-wife, Kate Winslet, along with Leonardo DiCaprio and Kathy Bates. In a January 2009 interview, Mendes commented about directing his wife for the first time, "I would open my eyes in the morning and there Kate would be, going, 'Great. You're awake.'" Now let's talk about the second scene. Mendes' comedy drama Away We Go opened the 2009 Edinburgh International Film Festival. The film follows a couple searching North America for the perfect community in which to settle down and start a family. The film was well received by critics but performed poorly at the box office.
In 2010, Mendes co-produced a critically acclaimed documentary film Out of the Ashes that deals with cricket in Afghanistan. On January 5, 2010, news broke that Mendes was employed to direct the 2030 Productions installment of the James Bond franchise. The film, Skyfall, was subsequently released on October 26, 2012. to coincide with the 50th anniversary of the Bond films. Mendes had been employed as a consultant on the film when it was in pre-production, and had remained attached to the project during the financial troubles of MGM. The film was a major critical and commercial success, becoming the 14th film to gross over $1 billion worldwide. In 2012, Mendes's Neal Street Productions produced the first series of the BBC One drama series, called The Midwife, following it with a second season which began transmission in early 2013.
After the success of Skyfall, Mendes was asked if he was returning to direct the next Bond film. He responded, "I felt I put everything I possibly could into this film and it was the Bond film I wanted to make. And if I felt I could do the same again, then absolutely I would consider doing another one. But it is a big task and I wouldn't do it unless I knew I could." It was reported that one reason Mendes was reluctant to commit was that one proposal involved making two films back-to-back, based on an idea by Skyfall writer John Logan, which would have resulted in Mendes and other creative personnel being tied up with filming for around 4 years. It was reported in February 2013 that this idea had since been shelved and that the next two films would be standalone. Mendes said in an interview with Empire magazine in March 2013 that it has been a very difficult decision not to accept Michael and Barbara's very generous offer to direct the next Bond movie. He cited, amongst other reasons, his commitments to the stage version of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and King Lear.
However, on May 29, 2013, it was reported that Mendes was back in negotiations with producers Wilson and Broccoli to direct the next Bond film, going back on his previous comments. Wilson and Broccoli were willing to postpone production of the film to ensure Mendes's participation. On July 11, 2013, it was announced that Mendes would direct the 24th James Bond film. Named Spectre, it was released in October 2015. This made him the first filmmaker since John Glenn to direct 2 Bond films in a row. In April 2016, Mendes was named as the president of the jury for the 73rd Venice International Film Festival.
Mendes's war film 1917 was released by Universal Pictures on the 25th of December 2019. Based in part on an account told to Mendes by his paternal grandfather, Alfred Mendes, it chronicles the story of 2 young British soldiers at the height of World War I, during spring 1917. Mendes won the Golden Globe Award for Best Director for the film. In his speech, he acknowledged fellow nominee Martin Scorsese's contribution to cinema and saluted his grandfather Alfred. On January 25, 2020, he also won the Directors Guild of America Award for feature film. The press related that this made him the assumed favorite to win the upcoming Oscar for Best Director. Mendes also shared the Critics' Choice Directing honor with Bong Joon-ho for the film.
Mendes and actress Kate Winslet met in 2001, when Mendes approached her about appearing in a play at the Donmar Warehouse Theatre, where he was then artistic director. They married in May 2003, on what they characterized as a whim, while on holiday in Anguilla when Winslet was 2 months pregnant with Mendes's child. Their son Joe Alfie Winslet Mendes was born on December 22, 2003 in New York City. Mendes also had a stepdaughter, Mia, from Winslet's first marriage to filmmaker Jan Threadpelton.
Amid intense media speculation of an affair between Mendes and actress Rebecca Hall, he and Winslet announced their separation in 2010 and divorced in 2011. Mendes and Hall were in a relationship from 2011 to 2013. Mendes married trumpeter Alison Balsam in January 2017. Their daughter was born in September 2017. He was knighted in the 2020 New Year's Honours List for services to drama.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.